Hey everybody, it's me, James Quo. Um, Welcome to the second installment of Mononoke Week, leading up to the premiere of the Mononoke Hime fandub, uh, which will be this Thursday. Yesterday we did Kaya and the Amishi girls versus Nago. Well, why don't we go to the drawing board and I can show you how it went. Okay, so we yesterday we did this drawing. It's like right at the start of the movie. There's Nago, possessed by evil spirits, oozing demonic goo, and he's like just crashing through the woods towards the Imishi village, and he comes across Kaya, who's apparently betrothed to Ashitaka, but is passed off as his sister in the dub, or in the subtitles, and her two friends, and Kaya turns. After her friend falls down, she turns and decides to draw her sword. We did two before that. We did Jiko the monk. This is a scene where he has like a little campfire dinner with Ashitaka just as he's leaving the village. Before that, we did Gonza, Lady Eboshi's right-hand man. So today, as we get closer to the premiere date, we're kind of going up that tier list towards the more headlining characters. Why don't I just like show the schedule on here? It was gonna add an image, source. Okay. Here's my schedule. And we did Monday. Today is Tuesday. We're going to draw Ashitaka. I should also show you. Well, let me see while I load this up. I think I have that in a folder already. Let me just look for that. Yeah. So let me get rid of my schedule. So just try to memorize that because it's going away in 3, 2, 1. Gone. Okay, so this is the reason that we're on, because I'm just here to promote this, and I'll type a little promo into the chat. Mononoke. Okay. It's a fandub. 60 friends did voices for it. Assembled by Sophia Foster Dimino. And it's going to be amazing. Okay, so let's take the poster away. Wait, yeah, take the poster away. And I feel like I need to just start drawing. Oh, you know what? One more housekeeping thing that I need to do before I really get into the drawing. Let's give you guys something to look at. Is I need to go put this on my door. My special person made this for me, so they would know not to disturb the studio. So I'll be right back. Okay, so to figure out which Ashitaka to draw, I kind of had to scan through the whole movie again because he's one of the main characters. He might have more lines and more scenes than anybody. So there were like lots of different places, lots of different Ashitakas I could potentially draw. Like, does he have his hair bun? Does he have his whole riding outfit? And I think I figured out that there's a scene early on about, I think it's after his confrontation with Nago and after he leaves the village, and then the beautiful soundtrack plays, and he and Yakul, the red elk, are kind of tramping across the wilderness together. And then there's this one scene in that sequence that's like really beautiful, and I never noticed it until I was looking this closely before. But it's like the two of them are on a cliffside. I'm just going to start drawing. And it seems like they're taking a break from their journey. And Ashitaka, it's going to be him here. He's taken off his travel hood. I think, let's see, that's his hair. And they're taking like a little snack break. And it's just like it's only on screen for a couple seconds, but it's like very tender. I think I'm drawing these guys a little too big. I might, like, this paper is bigger than normal already. Like, this is 11 by 14. I feel like I could fit them in maybe head to toe. Let me see if I can do that. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by like a technical thing in my streaming software, but I'm back. Okay, so I think I need to show, like, so maybe this is the cliffside, and this could be like the countryside kind of disappearing into the distance. These could be like little misty farms and ponds and little pockets of forest. Maybe some like birds flying through here, I seem to remember. So I feel like Ashitaka in his full riding gear is pretty easy to draw because he's just like a big triangle. And then like he has like a little eye slit here. And then let's see. Then he has big like riding pants. And these just if you want to look at this scene, it's about, and if you have the ability to watch the movie, it's like 12 minutes into the movie, so you could pause it there and see Ashitaka's riding pants. I need to really go back and check what his footwear is like. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm assuming some sort of sandal. I'll just put that in lightly for now. So let's see. So here's Ashitaka. He's wearing his big straw coat. Let me just check my camera. I want to make sure. Okay, I was zoomed in too far. Let's just back that up. Especially for the pencil stage, I'm going to be working on the whole image. I don't want to miss anything off camera. Hey Dheeraj, thanks for stopping by, and Leon. Nice that people came back for day 2. So I think it's starting to take shape. Like, this is Yakul's head. His majestic horns come off. Oh, this like Kenny Ashitaka here? Yeah. Well, maybe, because Bernard's gonna stream, he's usually on later tonight, so maybe if I'm not all drawn out, I could draw and watch at the same time. And then here's Yakul's hooves. And then I think this cliffside is very steep. I'm trying to like do this a little quickly, because if you were here for last stream, I kind of really ran up against the time. Because my first, like when I had done my first two, like they only took 2 hours. So I was like 3 hours. I have that set aside. That's so luxurious. I have all the time in the world to just chat and like turn one character this way, turn them that way, and rework everything. But man, I was really sweating bullets by the end. So, for my personal project management of this drawing, I need to get to ink by 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which gives me a good 45 minutes to get this in. Oh, well, thank you very much for your kind words about the beautiful detailed ink. I think drawing really big can give the illusion of detail because it's like a normal amount of information, but there's just like more of it. I don't know. So let's see. I feel like if you're feeding your beloved red elk companion, maybe you would also be patting him on the head like this. Right? Yeah, I think right now um, Ashitaka is super flat looking, which contributes to the South Parkiness. It is a little bit of a relief to draw one human figure and one animal figure this time rather than 3 humans and 1 demon boar. Like, it was definitely a challenge to fit all 4 elements into the composition. And I was pretty worried for a while. Like I was floundering a bit during the layout stage, like maybe I had bit off more than I can chew. But I think it's just this repeated process of like maybe doing something that you think is like a little too difficult. Like it's like I have to stretch myself to accomplish this. And then you do stretch and you just kind of do that over and over again. And for me, that seems like the way to improve. So part of the stream is my burning desire to study. So I'm going to play that.
What about my burning desire to study?
Okay. Let's see. Do I have... I should have the movie in a window because I do need to check his footwear. Let me think. He has a sword here. And his hood is hanging around his neck. I'm wondering... Oh, you know, now that I check my reference, I've got this kind of all backwards. I think... Because I don't want it to look too much like what's already in the movie. Like, I might take what's here on the paper and just kind of like rotate everybody a little bit more. So I'm going to lightly erase the whole thing. And the characters are going to roughly be in the same place, but I think we're going to see, returning it, we'll see like a little more of Yakul's like flank, like a little more the side of his head. And then I think Ashitaka might be like a little more head on. And then let me see. So his Ashitaka's left hand is holding a feed bag. And this scene is super cute because they're stopping for a rest and he's feeding his deer and he like takes some, I assume it's oats or something, out of the bag and hands them over and reaches back in. And then Ashitaka eats some himself and then like another one for Yakul. And it's just like a very tender moment of like a red elk and his boy. So let's see. Yeah, I think this will work. Like, if I put the feeding hand like right here, let me just put this in a little more. So there's the thumb, and the fingers go up like this. That's kind of like dead center in the image. So that'll be like a good focal point to sort of aim everything else towards. Okay, so Yakul's head is going to be basically up here. Let me just... When I rework these images, there's always like some ghosts left over from previous versions, so I'm going to help myself out by kind of like ghost busting a little bit, and taking out some of these things before I get confused. Here's Yakul. You know, the light part of his fur doesn't go all the way down the nose like that. Kind of like comes to a point here, and then he has his bridle, and the nose is a little kind of like a soft V shape. Also, since he's not a predator, I got to put these eyes more on the side. So he's like a herd animal. Okay.
What the hell?
Oh, you found the sound alerts. That's great. Oh, D-Raj, if you look in the channel points, you might notice I picked up one thing that Bernard has, which is the erase everything. And I don't know if anyone has ever redeemed that yet. Well, I think like a minute ago, I was talking about trying to push myself, and if I have to erase everything, it'll just... it'll make me stronger because I'll have to come back and execute the drawing again. In the times I've watched the stream, I don't remember anyone doing a eraser redeem. Oh, cool. Yeah, I put in a bunch of new channel points rewards now that I can do that. That's the chakra is new, like this week, basically. I'm still trying to come up with like some fun stuff to do for that. Let's see. The way I had roughed that face in was like a little too kind of just like dead on. So I'm gonna just turn, like if you're feeding your red elk, you'd probably like gaze into its large soulful eyes. Let me just indicate that he's looking over this way. Okay, so this hangs down about to there. And then see, this hand over here is holding a feed bag, which looks like it's just like a leather sack, and then it has a drawstring around the top. And I feel like if Yakul was behaving poorly, he might just like bypass this hand and just go straight for this bag. But I feel like he's a very like dutiful companion and probably wouldn't try to be chaotic like that. Oh, Galuigi has entered the chat. Thanks for posting that Quodama. Yeah, and thanks to everybody who came back after stream 1 and is now watching stream 2. Yeah, if you just got here, Gal, this scene is from like right at the beginning of the movie when Ashitaka sets out from the village and the opening score is playing and they're like tramping across the wilderness and they just stop at a cliffside and have a little snack. And even though I've seen the movie like a dozen times, I think I'd never noticed this scene until I was like scanning through looking for like a nice opportunity for like, since he's in so many scenes, like there were so many different Ashitakas to draw, and he has lots of like costume changes. I did want to. I just love his riding outfit, even though when he has the hood up, like he just looks like a triangle, and the stream would just be like 5 seconds long. Let's see. I need to put in. So this. I'm just trying to figure this out. Saddle would be here. Yakul's back leg could be like here. That's the back foot touching down. I should really figure out where the rest of him would be. Like his other front leg is like here. I don't know, I think even though we won't be able to see Yakul's other leg, I feel better, or I feel more responsible just like figuring out where it is. Oh, see, Gal, I thought since you're here, I would mention a couple more of the channel points rewards. I just kind of brainstormed a bunch before the stream, and I like added a few in. Like I lowered the price on the sound alerts, and then I added play a chess game, which could be fun. I'll just play a game of Blitz. It'll take between 3 and 6 minutes, and then we'll come back and draw some more. But it could be like a nice fun break. There's request a character, there's erase everything, and then the big prize is like pick a drawing from my big cartel, and I'll just send it to you. But it'll take a lot of watching to get there. Well, I guess if the person who redeems it wants to play, it doesn't have to be a rando. Okay, so this is more rock. I think in the opening sequence, like a second, what comes after this is these two guys are crossing the river, and oh yeah, D. Rogers, I'm glad the drawing got there safe and sound. I always worry that the postal service will just chuck it into a ravine, but I'm glad it's been there, and I'm speaking as someone who has been a casual carrier before. So in the scene after this, oh no. Well, I think the answer to that, Gal, is just like play more games. Like I try to keep a healthy attitude towards it and not be like super competitive. Like I'm not Magnus Carlton and Ian Nepo like playing for the championship of the universe. Like I try to look at it like a chess game as like me and the opponent, like we're collaborating on telling an exciting story, almost like Dungeons and Dragons. Like there can be really tense passages or like exciting turnarounds. I mean, I would rather win, but it's not like the reason that I would play. I do not play D&D. I've only heard about it. Are you a D&D player? Let's see. Well, as I'm talking, what I'm trying to fit in here is a kingfisher, which appears in the next scene. And I think their distinctive mode is just that their head is ridiculously large compared to their body. Oh, mostly a dungeon master these days. I would love to see one of your sessions. Oh, since one of the channel rewards is request character, potentially you could choose your like D&D persona, and I could like draw up a picture of that. Just saying. Okay. Okay. Oh, that was the Mononoke audio playing in a window I should mute. I was just looking for a little more information about their outfits. So these, I feel like if I could, I could. I'm new at drawing goblins. Like it might be my first goblin, but I mean I'm pretty adaptable. Like this is the first red elk I've ever drawn, but it's the same process. Um, like just building up bigger shapes and refining to smaller ones. I mean, this kingfisher is like a little goblin-y looking. Let's give him like a little fish that he caught. I really need to look those up instead of like totally just inventing what a kingfisher looks like. Do they have a big crest on top? They do. So, oh, you know what? I might, you don't, Diraj, you might not even need to spend any channel points on that because my sister-in-law requested a Hanukkah present for me of Lord of the Rings characters. So we might be drawing some of the Fellowship next week. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen after Mononoke week is done. I probably, like, after doing 4 nights in a row, I'll need, like, a little break. Like, I might not stream this weekend. And I imagine you guys might need a break from me. And so, yeah, I'm going to maybe draw some of the Fellowship next week, probably. And where was I going? Well, speaking of listening and working, you may notice a difference auditorially on this stream, which is the lack of chill lo-fi beats, because those are curated by Twitch, and it kind of went haywire as I was trying to go live, and so I just couldn't get them to come through on the stream. Which I'm gonna just, now that I'm affiliate, I think I can do a poll. So I'm just gonna like add a poll and see if I can. Okay, I'm gonna do a little poll. Poll question. New poll. Music on stream? Question mark. Chill lo-fi beats. Next option is OMG. Okay. This is going to be a 1-minute poll. And you can use your channel points. You can use bits if you want to like stuff the ballot box. Okay, so far, Lo-Fi Beats is ahead. Okay. Oh wait, okay. No, please stop. Has a first vote in. I really could go either way. Sometimes it's stimulating for me to have something to listen to. It looks like, oh, okay, it's tied. So maybe I could do some with and some without. Okay, so it's a tie. And since I'm the president of the Senate of this stream, I'm going to vote the tiebreaker, and it's going to be yes. So for the time being, the beats will go on. Okay. Okay. All right, where am I? Let's keep drawing. I feel like I was saying this right at the start of the stream that my mistake was not starting ink soon enough on the last one, and I was really racing against the clock towards the end. And I was like promising that I would like start the ink stage by 6, but I feel like I might almost be ready now. I'm just looking over this to see if there's anything I need to include. Like, what on earth does Ashitaka have on his feet? Oh, wait. Looks like... Okay, so these riding pants come down pretty far, farther than I have them. I think I said this already, but as I'm drawing this, I'm reminded, they have these like light spots across the bottom, and to me, these pants look like they're made out of boar pelts, which I know would make Akoto and Nago pretty unhappy. So I think he has socks on. Like, we don't get to see Ashitaka toes. Let me think. I'm trying to decide if I've made Yakul like too chonky. Like I feel like he definitely needs some like girth in the middle section of his body, but I feel like they're on this like curved part of the hill, and so he's. Let me just like see if I can send this part back, just to make it clear that like the spine of this animal would be going like this way in this sort of C shape. So I think it's all right to have this much elk pointing out here. Okay. I think it is. I think it's time for inking. Just. Oh, you know what? I'm totally inventing. So the way I had it, Yakul has horns coming off the side. I think they need to come off of here, and he also doesn't seem to have ears right now. Here we go. So let's just move those horns up the head. Oh, Gal, after watching some of your recent art school streams, I did want to go look up online like how the AI for the grading works to see if anybody like knew. And I didn't see any comment from the developers, but a lot of people playing the game seem to believe that it was just totally random, that no matter what you turned in, you could get an A through an F with no rhyme or reason. move this eye in a little bit. Okay, that looks a little more like Yakul. I think his harness is here. Because I was watching some of the arts that you made, and they looked really nice. And then the teacher would just cold give you an F, and I couldn't believe it. Like, if you were the developers of that game, would it make sense to like make a really involved program to actually analyze the images, or could you just do like a random generator? You know, those see, these ears are way too long. Let's make these a little cuter. I'm not too sure about this Ashitaka face. It's like, might be like a little on the cute side, but I mean, he is a cute guy. And it also doesn't like totally look like him. I just want to address this a little bit more. I don't know if that makes you feel any better or worse to learn that maybe the grades were random. I don't know if they really are. And like, if you knew that going in, would you have done your drawings any differently? Let's see. I think I'm making these eyes less big, and since they are resting, I think I am going to give Ashitaka a little bit more of a kind of a weary expression, like they have been riding all day and all night. Also, I'm making his face like way too broad. I just gotta check my references. Ashitaka. Okay. Okay, I'm finding some clearer pictures of him, and this face is like way too wide. Let me just get my eraser. And I can make these eyebrows a lot heavier. He should be smiling like a little bit, but like he's pretty low energy at the moment, so he's not like beaming. All right, and what does his hair do? It's like he had his top knot that he had to just like snip by hand, symbolizing that he would never. Is it that like he couldn't come back to the village? Because I think all the elders like cover their faces. Oh, when you received bad grades, you assumed it was because you didn't use enough brushes. I guess that would make you like explore around that game world and like locate all the different tools. I feel like I just made it look less like Ashitaka, not more. Let's see. I can probably spend a couple more minutes getting this face just right, but then I do need to move on. I just want to... I'm going to give him like a little bit of an affectionate and like inquisitive head tilt. Like it was a little too plain before. Let's get in his eyebrows. Pretty much could just go straight across. Let's see. I feel like when I was drawing these locks of hair, I was doing too many small points. I should just do like fewer big points like that. I don't know. Not totally happy with what's happening on the paper right now. I might just like be redrawing and erasing eyes for a little bit longer. Let's see. It's just not quite capturing this character. I think I need to make his eyes like a little rounder. That's not right. It's closer. It's closer to Ashitaka. You know, I've seen a lot, like when I'm not streaming, I do try to like browse a lot of other art streams, and I see a lot of people who will like do the whole pencil stage before they go on, and then just like do an inking demo. But I'm hoping that my willingness to like let you see me struggle with this is like one of the parts. This is kind of like the meatiest part of the stream when I don't know whether this is going to work out or not. Oh, see, Gert Vanderwoops and Nick are in the chat. Nice to see you again. Gert is a very good friend from high school who I recently have gotten back in touch with. You know, I feel like I kept trying to make him smile a little bit, but that's one of the things that made it not look like the character, since he's kind of maybe not too happy that he is leaving Amishi Village forever. His hair is not quite right. I think I need to get rid of these on top. Oh, what was I like in high school? Oh my god. Please. Please don't embarrass me too much, Mr. Vanderwoops. Okay, we're getting closer. I think maybe if I can nail this nose. That's the closest we've gotten yet. Yeah, I mean, I think this is part of what I want to share. Like, it's easy to look at the like a finished picture and be like, "Oh my god, how did anybody draw that?" I mean, not with my stuff, but with other people. But there's definitely like a lot of like sweat that goes into here. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for now because that's decent. Oh, yeah, the levitating for the senior photo, that was just a trick photograph where I just like, jumped, and I don't know who I enlisted to pull the shutter at the right time, but uh, through the magic of photography, that moment was just uh, frozen forever to make it look like levitation. Okay, let me see. Let me. Thank you, Leon, for articulating uh, Ashitaka's face journey. Happy, weary, and now good medium. Okay, let's. I'm 10 minutes ahead of schedule, which is great. Let me just find where my. There it is. I, this face cam is positioned strategically, so you can't see all the like tools that are arrayed everywhere. I think after Mononoke week, like a good studio clean is going to be in the cards. Okay, here we go. Um, how was Gert in high school? Gert was like very impressive. He was the lead in most of the school plays. I feel like that's where we did a lot of hanging out. Like I did a lot of like set building and kind of backstage stuff. But uh, Andrew was back then and is now an incredible actor. Yeah, I feel like he and I had a lot of like formative misadventures together, just being like young teens who don't know anything, uh, and just like helping each other through our love life struggles as they were at that time, which is very funny to think about. Let's see. Okay, border's done. Where can I put this? Oh yeah, I think there were some tracks near my house, and I think we had think my family might have had like a video camera from that era, and we would like attempt to shoot like our own movies. Okay, let's see. So, um, hey, I think this is going to be like another brushing guy, which worked out pretty successfully last time. Um, like my like these two with Jiko and Gonza, a lot of this is like scratchy penwork, like especially here. But I think for the last one with Kaya, I had like switched over to brush. I think it was pretty successful. I'm gonna try to keep rolling with that. Hey Sparkle, thanks for showing up and enjoy the lurk. Yeah, I think yeah, I think that was Kenrick Eightsine, um, a one of the Warenberg chain theaters. You know, I found the intro theme for Warenberg, and to this day, I still kind of play it before, like, I screen movies at home sometimes. I have no idea how, like, a 15-year-old would have hid, like, a 2-liter bottle on their person and, like, gotten past the ticket taker. I assume that they just didn't care, which is the most likely explanation. Oh, this was my warm-up elk before the stream. And here was like a little warm-up Ashitaka. And I guess this was an Amishi girl. Yeah, like these were some warm-up drawings from yesterday, just because, you know, I'm serious about the stream, so I just want to make these drawings good for you guys. Oh, do you still have any of those cassettes? Because I feel like, didn't it have the original theme, and then it had the remixed theme from the mid '90s, which was very different. Yes, they kind of looked like Sonic the Hedgehog, like Chaos Emeralds, like spinning around, and then they also wanted to show off their new like surround sound, so they had like little whispering voices saying Warenberg, like showing up like around the different parts of the auditorium. Whereas like the original theme was like incredible. It was just like um I'm not even sure how to describe it. Just like a very legit kind of like rhythm section and like incredible horns. I don't know. It was triumphant, exactly. It really like transported you from like the ordinary world outside the theater, and then you like sit in the dark and listen to this music, and it's just like sending you through this portal where we're now in like the world of cinema. That's kind of like why I still view it ahead of a lot of things. Okay. So to warm up, I think I'm going to try to do this Kingfisher. Okay, let me see. Where is my reference? Let me see. Well, I do. Okay, so I do need to show this scene. As you know, I mentioned going from the ordinary world into the world of cinema. We're now going from the world of pencil to the world of ink. So I'm going to zoom in the camera a little bit, since I won't be sweeping around the page as much, but kind of working like a little finer. Just bring that close. Let me see. Also, like, we've been having like a little bit of high school talk, but like our school was a very strange place. Like, it was like a prep school, and so Gert Vanderwoops and I had to wear like a little blazer and necktie every day. And I think, I don't know, I kind of am very thankful that we found each other there to like help each other like survive that time. I think that eye is like a little too high up. I'll just bring this down a little bit more. This is a very punk rock bird so far. Let's see. I think that eye is just like something is weird here. I think if I okay, now it's more like incorporated into the bird face. Before it was kind of just like floating too much. Okay. Do they have a particular wing shape? They do indeed. Oh, that's really nice. Oh yeah, I think the year he and I started, it was an all boys school before that, but they merged with the all girls school that was next door, and people had a lot of feelings about that. And I think a lot of the people who had feelings had been going to that uh, school since like pre kindergarten and maybe had not been in school with girls before. Whereas, like I had gone to a few different places before, so it didn't seem strange to me. Just give this guy like a little fishy. Oh, Gert Vanderwoops, are you going to be tuning in this Thursday for the Mononoke fan dub? The reason for this stream, let's see. I'm just going to put the poster up for a second. I'm going to type the promo back into the chat. Okay, let's get rid of that for now. What is their tail like? I think it's pretty short compared to their wingspan. Oh, kind of an auspicious sign for doing this drawing is just before stream time, I got a text from Kate. That's my special person. And she was like, if you look out the second floor window, you'll see a woodpecker in our cherry tree. And there it was. I think it was a downy woodpecker, sort of like black and white, spotted with a red cap, unless I'm terribly mixing up my birds. Let me see. So let me just continue this curve around here. Okay, I'm going to let that rest for now. And next, I feel like I should pretty much just go left to right. So I'm going to start working across on Yakul. I think I'm going to start in on his horns. So there's going to be like some fur coming up where they connect. And they have these like ringed parts on them. So maybe I'll kind of add those in first. I think brushwork was definitely the right inking choice for this piece because it's perfectly suited for doing like fur and like natural and like feathers, like natural surfaces. Like for this, I don't need to do a lot of like concrete, glass, and steel cityscapes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Quobot was already up with the timer. Like I just put that command in myself, but it was already about to show that anyway. Let's see. Let me make sure I get these ears right. Let me get a look at this deer. Not deer, elk. So I think instead of doing like one, like I could just do a stroke across here, but I think I'm gonna go back and forth to make like fur texture. Kind of like break this line up too. see, and he has... So the back of his harness kind of... I should really pencil this in before I try to do that with my brush. Make sure I get this curve right. There's like part of the harness goes over here. Okay. A little thicker than I would like. Okay. Let's see. It feels nice to draw this kind of elk muzzle. There's like a tender moment later on where I think Ashitaka is recovering from his injuries, and then Yakul comes up and like sort of mouths on him to wake him up. I feel like this light spot on his head isn't quite centered, so I'll just try to correct that now. Yeah, that looks about right. Other strap coming up side here. Let's see. I have to bring this back to attach to the saddle. But I might put in some of this flank first. Gal, do you have a personal animal companion at the moment? I would be surprised if it was a red elk, but something more apartment-sized? You know, there's going to be like a lot of fur lines that I could do over here. And I noticed that I'm kind of avoiding doing Ashitaka's face at the moment, but I should just charge ahead and do that now. So if I do need to correct it, I'll have plenty of time later. Let me just get a look at this guy. I think uh, one thing about this expression, it makes the way that I kind of did this mouth with like a little line at the end, it almost looks like he's chewing, like he's got his mouth full, which I think is going to be good. I'm just going to add like a couple of crumbs falling off. This is just like the magic of drawing and like signify what's happening with like a little information here. Um, I do not have an animal companion. Like, I've thought about it. Like, I would love to have like a bird here, but I think like Rhode Island gets pretty cold, and like parakeets are tropical animals, and I would like hate to subject them to the winter because they wouldn't understand what was happening. Um, I would also love to have a cat, but Kate is allergic. Oh yeah, yeah. Gerd Vanderwoops. That's as of 1 or 2 streams ago. Like, yeah, maybe 2 streams ago was my first affiliate stream. So yeah, as you watch, you are earning channel points, and if you look down to the bottom left of the chat, uh, they are your chakra, and that's what the image looks like larger. So that's your like internal spiritual and physical energy that you're building up by watching this stream. Take that away. Yeah, and I added sound alerts. I used a lot of my vocal clips from my Yamagata performance. Yeah, and I just added some new rewards. I think I talked about this a little earlier, so I'll just go over it quickly. Like, if you save up enough chakra, you could, request character to be drawn. You could, um, we could go play a chess game midstream. You could, if you're feeling chaotic, you could get me to erase the whole drawing. Oh yeah, I added some emotes. Like there's the jiayo emote, which is like an expression for encouragement. I think that one just got approved between last stream and this one, so I added that in there. Yeah, yeah, Gal, I think it would be great if you could get a cat, and then it could help give you feedback on your one-woman show of the musical Cats. Like if you did have your own personal cat, would it be impossible to not name it Mr. Mistopheles or something? Yeah, Gerd, if you haven't seen Galuigi's channel, like she is an incredible performer of musical medleys. Wait, did I lie? When? Wait, about what? I don't tell lies. Like, I want to find out what's going on. Talk to me. What are those emote tears about? I think I'm gonna start worrying if I don't hear back. Oh, no, 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 no. I think I was talking about your performance. I cannot sing or dance, and I've never seen the musical Cats outside of your channel. I think I was trying to direct people uh, over to your stream to see people do that again. I apologize if there was a misunderstanding. I'm glad we were able to clear that up a little bit. I might like stick. I don't know. Thinking about sticking a couple of these to Yakul's muzzle. See, and then his like arm guards go back and then disappear under his straw coat. Okay, Gal, thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again. I think if you see me like not talk for a minute, I'm just getting like really into the zone of making these little straw lines. Trying to like not do any outlines on it, just like accumulate all these marks and have it come together as one shape. You know, like put a few more sticking out to like give it a rougher texture. You know, I think I do need to be doing more of these like double lines to kind of indicate little pieces of straw together. That's looking more like what it's supposed to be. Let's see. See, I think this part here, it's like the front part of his mask that like tucks into his straw coat when he has it closed. So it's like a little bit like wearing a dickie under a sweater, like just the turtleneck that only goes down to here. One nice thing about drawing this illustration rather than um, having it be part of an animated film is I can put like a lot of texture in here that would be a nightmare if you were trying to do this um what, like 12 frames per second. But like I could sit here for this whole stream and just like add more and more and more, and it would not cause me any more trouble down the line. I think right now I'm just working my way down the Ashitaka figure, and so I'll do these and then probably go back up, complete Yakul, and then go into some of this landscape that they're on. And then this side of the picture behind this kingfisher, this should be like a distant landscape. We'll have to figure out a different way to draw that. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty nebulous in the pencil stage, but like once the ink starts going in, you can really like see what's happening. And I think when I do get to this background, it's really going to come alive. Because right now they're just like partial beings floating in a white void. But once they're located in the landscape, I think should help the picture come alive. And also, a lot of this back here is going to be darker, and it should bring these figures forward. Let me think. So I just want to make a little indication of where this coat comes out on the other side. Like, swings down here, goes behind, and then comes back up. And like this line continues like that, about like that. I think this area is going to be sort of like the interior of the coat, so I can make these lines like a lot thicker and closer together to show that this is casting shadow on itself, but still changing these angles to get you the straw texture. Like, these lines are pretty different than this, so I just want to like make it a little more consistent. I think once now I figured out kind of what I want the straw to look like. Well, so the thing about um, streaming more frequently and like getting used to kind of just verbalizing everything I'm doing in the drawing is kind of in my regular off-stream life, I've gotten a bad habit of just like sportscasting everything that I'm doing. Like I'm getting a cup out of the cupboard and I'm pouring hot water to make a teacup. And I think Kate will catch me doing it. Like I'll even forget. So I just have to know how to switch off once the stream is over. Well, I think kind of insisting that I say why I'm doing things kind of makes it more likely that I will come up with a reason to do things instead of just doing whatever. Okay, so um, Yakul has. Let me just connect this part of the head. Yeah, I think once I get all the structure, like all the main lines of the drawing in, with the time I have left, I can just like put in all kinds of like fur like that. But there's like a lot of picture that's still open that needs to be addressed. So right now, this is sort of like Yakul's like fluffy uh, chest scruff here, which I think would be very nice to pet if I had a red elk in front of me. And then let's see, this harness or bridle, I guess you would call that. I need to have that line come up here. And then since no one's mounted, I think, let me think about what that would really do. Like the saddle is here. What does the saddle look like? Does it have stirrups? Okay, so it looks like he does have. I'm glad I checked before I drew all of this because I think it does look like Yakul has a blanket that goes partway down, and then there's like another strap that would connect underneath his stomach. I would much rather find that out at this stage than have to go back and correct everything. Also, having a whole like elk blanket here will make my job easier. I feel like there was a horse in a strip in like the 19 teens. Like since doing comics is my kind of business in life, I try to like study the history. And there was a horse named Sparkplug uh, in one of the like old timey strips, and I think it was just like here's a cartoon horse, but like it had a whole blanket over its whole body, and you would just like see feet coming out here, and I think that was just the artist doing himself a favor. So we've just got like a tiny version of that happening here. Like it'll save me drawing that much elk fur. Okay. This. Okay. I'm just checking that I'm drawing the right kind of foot on here. I assume it's just cloven the way that I've drawn it. Does he have 3 toes? 2 toes? 2. Okay. It feels pretty good doing this like comparatively sedate image compared to the more action-packed drawing from yesterday. Like, I feel like both of these are bringing like a pretty different energy. And there were like lots of opportunities to draw Ashitaka like riding and shooting arrows, but trying to show a little bit of range and doing this sensitive moment. Okay, let me think. Where's the other foot? Comes down here, it's behind. On this little hoof, I'm going to draw like lots of like texture to show the kind of like keratin that it's made out of. Okay. And his, I think I figured out his back leg would go. I'm just looking at my Yakul reference. Okay. Yeah, I think I had it right. Like his back leg should go here. I think a lot of this is going to be in shadow. And then the other leg we don't even see. So I think like a lot of the major part of this is done. I might even eraser a lot of what I can here. Let's zoom out to see the whole thing for a second. Oh, I need to get Yakul's ear in. So let me do that before I forget. I'll just try to match what I did over here. Thing's not right. I think I'm doing those in the wrong way. The fur is going that way, so okay, that's right. I just got turned around for a second. Good. So I feel like a lot of this has been dry for a while, so I want to see what I've got. I definitely see parts that are gonna need to go like darker and lighter. Like um, these jodhpurs are going to need to uh, go darker. I think I learned that word from our production of You Can't Take It With You in the Vincent Price Theater. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, the kingfisher is like the first thing we did, so this is definitely going to be dry. Oh, is it? Oh, the play that shall not be named. Oh, well, what I enjoy about As You Like It were the kind of rude names for that play, like As You Lick It or As You Don't Like It, I think was the other option. That was a cursed production. Okay. Um, yeah, if anyone just got here, I'm going over some high school time with my friend Gert, who's shown up. So let's see. It's unclear to me that this is a saddle. Right now it's just sort of a bean shape that's sitting on here. So I'll just add another line. But really I want to get jamming on this hillside, this kind of narrow cliffside walkway. And I think I want to go pretty dark on these, like maybe even 65, 70% like coverage with like some white parts coming out. I wish I could hear that accent right now. Oh my god. Okay. So let's draw some rocks. I'm gonna start. Where am I gonna start? There's an excess of ink on my brush, so I just need to like take some of it off on a scrap piece of paper over here. Okay. Oh dear. Am I on camera? Good. So this part is great. You can kind of just use, like for most of this I had the brush pretty vertical to do these careful lines, but for stuff like rocks, I'm pretty much turning this sideways and then like making like irregular lines. Like so. Then I can add like some texture on there. Maybe a little suggestion of some growth. And this is definitely like maybe the number one reason to get a brush out, like because there are lines coming off of this tip that a steel nibbed pen could not make. I mean, you could go and outline either side of this and then darken in the middle, which people do, or you could be real about it and just get the brush out. Let's see. This, I feel like I'm going to stop before I get to the kingfisher and bring that over. This is now going to sort of like try to describe this walkway. Bring these lines up and just curve them over this ledge. But it's gonna end about here. Like they only have this much space on this narrow mountain pass at the start of their perilous journey. I think, let me see. As this goes back, this could start climbing up again. And then as this rounds the corner, these ground lines can get closer and closer together, but also fainter. And I'm also just going to like kind of drop this leg into shadow. And luckily, my brush was at that moment running out of ink, so I can get this nice like dry brush effect on here. Like I'm covering the whole thing, but it's not loaded with ink, so it's just making a nice soft texture there. Let's see. But Gert, I do feel like since we had such a good time when we got together in Queens a month or two ago now, I would like to make an effort to get together again, because eventually we will run out of high school hijinks to go over, and we need to have some new hijinks together. Oh, Nick, thanks for stepping in. I think I'm going to add this sort of like lip around the saddle, just so it doesn't look like a, I don't know, just like a flattened bean shape around here. Let me just see, I'll add like the seam that's sort of like a center line. And then let me think. Let me just like trying to like show what's happening. So I think because this would be on the far side of Yakul, so it'd be like closer to the mountain and away from the open light. Oh, gay dog. Thanks for showing up to the chat. Oh, if Nick, you and Gert gotta go, I understand, but thanks for watching the stream. Yeah, gay dog, I had kind of watched through the movie again to figure out which Ashitaka to do because he's probably in the most scenes and he has a lot of costume changes. But I found this really peaceful scene that I had never noticed before, kind of in the opening sequence when the symphonic music is playing. They have like a peaceful moment on a mountain pass where he like is feeding Yakul, and then it's really cute because Ashitaka then takes a couple mouthfuls himself. Yeah, I think the moment I erase the pencil is kind of my favorite part. It's like unwrapping a present to myself. Because I have such a heavy hand with the graphite. A lot of it disguises a lot of the picture, and so I don't even know what I'm doing a lot of the time. All right, bye, Gert. A really nice moment is there's like a part where I guess there's multiple parts where Ashitaka is sort of convalescing, but he wakes up and San is like, "Oh, yeah, he told me all about your village and what's going on." Like San, who's able to talk to the wolves and boars, apparently can also talk to Yakul, and so that gets like through a lot of the communication difficulties that uh, she and Ashitaka were having. Let me see. Right now, I'm just adding like a lot of rocky texture. Like maybe there's some vegetation on top here, and then underneath you can see some of the sedimentary layers that might be eroding. That's kind of how I'm thinking about this. It may look like I'm just making lines at random, but I do feel like I'm trying to have a reason for doing this. Like there's a little bit of scrub that's like clinging to the side of the hill here. Oh, Paul's here? Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Man, if you saw the first hour of the stream, I feel like I erased and redid Ashtaka's face at least like a dozen times. Like I was trying to make it a tender moment, so I made him like a little too happy looking. Then I was like, you know, they've been on the road traveling for however many miles, and so they should look pretty weary. And eventually, I feel like um, Leon and Chad pointed out that we found a pretty good middle ground. This is kind of a challenging moment to like figure out how to get out of the image and how to touch this corner. Like, that seems kind of natural. I don't know. I don't want to overdo any part of that. I think. Add some more here. I'm going to put like a bunch of lines kind of over, no, not over, under where they're standing, just because they're like casting shadows onto the environment. But it's not going to be like one solid like ellipse. It'll, because it's landing on pretty like uneven ground. Okay, let me see. I do need to figure out this whole like side column, because this is like, they're up on a cliff and this would be like the far distance. So I even need to think about where I would want that horizon to be, which I should have, I think at the start I had established it here, kind of like, and I'll probably keep it here, so it's just online with Ashitaka. Let me think about, up here it's clouds, maybe some like rivers or farms. Like, a lot of this should be pretty indistinct since it's far away and it's also not like the focus of the image. Maybe some like treetops down here. So while I think about how to address that, I am going to have my snack, and I think that Miyazaki is going to agree with me. I will take his advice. So let's see. I'm a little bit shy about eating, so I do want to just cover my face up a little bit. Here we go. I'm still here. These are apple slices. Okay, I think just one is fine. So let's turn that off. And I always like to show that one. Okay. Little stretch break. And now I think I should leap right into this while I kind of have it in my mind what should be over here. That dinging is the sound of me washing my brush out. I just need to periodically clear all the ink out so it doesn't get clotted and like make it so the brush never works again. Okay. I feel like I have thousands of sheets around my studio that have just like a bunch of lines on this. And sometimes people will come and visit me, and I'm like working really hard on a drawing like this. That's the most common snack, yes. Another stream it has been oranges, but let's not compare those. Like, I'll be working really hard on a drawing like this, and someone will like point at this sheet and be like, oh wow, that looks really good. I'm like, oh man, that's just my scratch paper where I'm getting the brush ready. Okay, so let's let me just take a look at the solution that Studio Ghibli came up with. Okay. So what I'm seeing is there is a tree and there is like some kind of river going up. So I think for this one I'm gonna have to do kind of like with brushwork, it's just more like the accumulation of marks than trying to do it all at once. So I'm doing these like kind of staccato shapes. And hopefully someone will look at all this and think that it adds up to some sort of conifer. And maybe there's another one coming out this way. And let's see. Then there's kind of like a little winding stream like between two forests. And this is like pretty far in the distance, so I'm using basically the smallest lines that I can get out of here. The brush is like tough to use, but it is wonderful because it can make lines like that and lines like this from the same tool. Yeah, exactly, Diraj. You can't compare them. I think make these lines a little darker just as they're touching down near this stream. But any part that I'm kind of thinking is water itself, I'll leave open just to show like the sky reflecting off of it. Oh, Diraj, I'm a little curious about your time at Emerald City Comic Con. Did you get to meet the master, Jim Lee, when you were there? So I heard he was doing an appearance. Like, I find it so charming from Bernard Chang that even though he's like so incredibly accomplished and talented himself, he still like fans out about that guy. Oh, cool. I imagine the line was pretty crazy. Did you bring something to get signed for that? All right, I think this like distant valley is coming out pretty all right. Like a lot of this is improvised. Oh, all nice choices. Uh, D. Rogers, funny you should mention X-Men #1 Magneto cover because I think this might look familiar. And this was like an ancient certificate of authenticity, but like uh, I kind of understand that this comic is the least, like, since it is the best-selling comic ever with like I think 8 million copies, it's also the least rare comic ever. But um, that is a prized possession of mine. Yeah, like I feel like if I do collect comics, like the value they have is like the amount that I enjoy reading them, or like the sentimental attachment I would have, not so much uh, what I would be able to sell them for, which I don't even know. I don't think they're worth very much. Oh, nice. Kind of amazing, like the amount of work Golf Boy puts into that every week. I think he hasn't even like missed a single one. I don't really love what's happening up here. I got too cocky with these lines. I was like, this is going great. And then like up here, these don't even make any sense. Let me think. This is the horizon, so I'm just going to put that in. And I think I can put some darker lines above that. This stuff I'm going to have to correct because this area is no good. Like these lines are like heavier and more spaced out than what I was doing here. So it's kind of backwards. Like this landscape is getting more distinct. Like this makes sense if it progresses like that. But all right, I just need to keep my head in the game. Let's see. I think I can erase just about any graphite that's left on here. Hmm. Seems like there's a little kind of mystery area here. Like there's just like a void. I should draw the front of his shirt and some straw coming in. I think for most of the drawing, I'm just kind of like barreling ahead, trying to draw as much as I can. And this is kind of the stage where I look at what I've wrought and see if there's any like inconsistencies or things that just don't make sense or anything missing. All right. I think I'm going to white out some of these and then go in and address this part. I do want to work on these jodhpurs a little bit. And then I'll go back after the whiteout is dried and try to see if I can fix this part of the picture. Just, I mean, I'm going to leave some. Like, I don't have to obliterate everything, but it's going to, like, bring down these lines by, like, 90%.
What are you talking about, damn it? What the hell happened here?
uh, thanks for the what are you talking about, damn it? What the hell happened here, Paul? Uh, Yeah, I think that's when Yamagata goes back to the Harukiya bar, and like Tetsuo's there, and he's kind of acting all freaky. That would be D. Rogers. That is good policy, and I have been like better and worse at doing that. I think sometimes I've just been like feeling the time pressure so much I haven't like stopped to snap a picture. But Paul, out of the sound alerts, I made that one the most expensive just because it was the most difficult line to deliver. Like I had to reach really deep to draw that one out of myself. Okay. Oh, thank you. I mean, I tried to put that same amount of effort into my Mononoke characters, who are pretty small, but it's like an honor to be part of it. I don't know off the top of my head. Paul, did you record any voices or sound effects or music for Mononoke? And could you tell us in the chat if you did? So that's, yeah, like the back of his shirt is here, the front is here. Oops, that line was way too heavy. Okay. It's just because I reloaded my brush and like more ink came off than I thought was going to, so I got a little surprised. I'm just going to add some like hair texture to these pants, which I assume came from a boar. And I can add like a little shadow underneath the feed bag. Oh, it's kind of nice that this movie had like so many parts that people could jump in and just do a line or two, and then like be happy to see their name in the credits, which is kind of where I am. Um, do those lines make sense? Let's just like add a little stitching here. May take that out. I don't know if elk actually have these, but I'm kind of like adding these like little whisker dots like a kitty would have. I don't know if I should leave that or not. Might be too much of a departure. But there are going to be like a lot more fur lines on here. like add some more to this kingfisher. Oh yeah, the the new music for this is like the most exciting. What is your music setup like? What is your music setup like? Is it one of the primary things that you do? Like I have a couple instruments that I play like for fun, but I didn't think I was quite on the level to be like contributing music to this. I feel like we're kind of in the later stage of this drawing where most of it is pretty much in the bag. Um, and a lot of this is like adding texture and tone and just like making things look better or more like themselves. Like I'm adding these kind of like furry lines where his pants sort of gather around the waist. Um, like hopefully to give you like a little more to like engage people's like different senses when they look on this. Oh, music is something you've done for years. I really look forward to hearing your tracks. Did you say already which scenes you did the music for? I'm looking at the chat. I feel like I could stand to get like a lot darker with these cliff sides. Just need to really like stand back and try to see this whole image. You know what? Maybe not. And really, I think having just reduced this part of the picture, like I think this works pretty well. Like, because when you're up this high, it can be like pretty misty at the level you are, and then but this is all pretty open with some dashes, and then you can look down into the valley and see this little stream going. So I think we might be getting pretty close to finished. I'm gonna keep working. Oh, those sound like really intense scenes. I need to work on this hair a little bit. Not quite sure that I'm totally pleased with how I've done this. Just need to eliminate some of these lighter areas, or just like shave them down a little bit. Hmm. Right now I'm just trying to be consistent and like address these horns with the same kind of pattern that I am doing on these hooves. Well, I think, Paul, people are going to have pretty different approaches. Um, like, I think we're going to hear some serious line deliveries kind of juxtaposed with some pretty goofy ones. Hmm. Before I call this done, I do want to just really make sure. I think I could just stand to make these Ashitaka eyes a lot bigger. So, this could be a fatal blunder, but I'm just going to enlarge these kind of bit by bit. But, hmm. Is that a mistake? No, it's alright. Let's just clean up that little corner. Yeah, I think after you see this scene in the movie, which is only on screen for 5 or 6 seconds, the next thing you see is uh, these two guys crossing a river, and in the foreground is a kingfisher, so we know that they exist in the world of Princess Mononoke. Yeah, I feel like their like disproportionately large head is a giveaway for that species of bird. So, I don't think if there's anything else. I think this picture looks pretty finished. I don't think that more lines is going to make it better. So I am going to find a place to sign it. I think just maybe along the bottom here. And while I do that, I'm going to put up my little calendar for Mononoke Drawing Week. So that's 2 down and 2 to go. Thank everybody for being here. I kind of don't really expect anyone to watch 4 3-hour streams in a row, because 12 hours is a long time to spend with me in 1 week. But tomorrow's drawing of Lady Eboshi and the Shishigami, I already have like a pretty good idea in my mind of how that's going to be. I think that's going to be a banger. Like, this is a very peaceful image, and tomorrow's image will not be very peaceful at all. So let me just sign my name. A M S O. Right. So let's go over to the chat screen. So yeah, this was a really fun stream. Let me just hold up the drawing. I want to thank everybody who is here. So D. Rogers, Leon, Paul, thank you so much for being here. Am I missing anybody? I know Gert was here before, but he already took off. Gal was here. So I'm going to post this on my socials, and I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon for an Eboshi drawing that I don't think you want to miss. All right. Bye, everybody.